Sweeps sure sound sweet for 7 teams in the North American Hockey League. This week on Today in the NA, alliterations are not the only thing we're spotlighting. We first caught up with the impact player of the week, Ethan Woolcott, as he featured an 8-point performance for the El Paso Rhinos in their sweep over the Corpus Christi Ice Rays.
No, that was the first time for me, and so I've been a part of some really good teams in the past, so I think it just kind of speaks to the group that we have this year. It's a really special group of guys, and so it was obviously a lot of fun this weekend, but super excited to see what we do in the future, and it's something I won't be forgetting.
Yeah, and the El Paso Rhinos are coming off a series sweep over the Corpus Christi Ice Rays, and you were quite the playmaker on Saturday night with 5 assists in one game. What do you think was making you so successful?
Yeah, so I think obviously I got to give all the credit to my teammates because I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. They kind of let me play my game and keep it simple. So credit to those guys. I would also say that the culture that our coaches have built in the locker room, on and off the ice is really special. It makes it super easy to want to play for the guy next to you. They're telling us to work hard every single day. You got to show up ready to do the little things every day. You can't take any nights off. So I think that just makes it really easy and makes you excited to play every single night.
Yeah, and you're in your first season playing in the North American Hockey League. What have you learned about yourself and your game, especially playing in the South Division?
Yeah, I would say the thing that I've really been focusing on is being consistent because of how good every single team in this division is. It doesn't matter where you are in the standings. Like, you got to be ready to go every single night. So that's something that I've taken away, and just playing against good players every single weekend's been a lot of fun. So I'm super excited for the rest of the season, and it's been great so far. So we'll see how it goes.
And to kind of wrap this up, talk to me about the energy inside of the arena, especially when you're playing at home in El Paso.
Yeah, it's like nothing I've ever experienced before. I think it's the best rink in this league to play in, let alone probably in the country. It's a lot of fun. It gets super loud, it's hard to hear yourself think sometimes, but having people like that behind you just gives you a lot of energy and a little extra to go out there and win every night.
Looking to produce another sweep against the Maine Nordiques, the Maryland Black Bears head north to take on Maine in a 2-game set. We talked with second-year veteran and Air Force commit Trey Hinton as he shares the lessons him and his teammates learned from the last time they faced the Nordiques.
Yeah, for sure. Maine is, first off, it's a pretty long haul, so that's something that the boys have definitely learned. Like, you got to be ready for the long road trip going up north, and then on ice, obviously, Maine it always seems like they have a pretty good team that they put on the ice. And they'll always work hard, and that's really the things that we've brought in and are ready for. Maine they'll have a good team, and they always work hard. So those are the two main things.
What are the expectations for this series for your team and also the Maine Nordiques?
Yeah, I think it's the two top teams in the division right now, so that's definitely a big deal. We want to keep climbing and keep distancing ourselves, and they definitely want to be catching up. So I think that it's going to be a really hard fought battle, both games, Friday and Saturday.
And while talking about divisional standings, right now Maryland leads the East Division and has a really solid edge over the teams. For yourself, you're a second-year veteran. How important is it to secure those division standing points early in the season as you all gear up for the postseason later in the year?
Yeah, for sure. You always think about the postseason. It's still early, but those points always help. And we saw Rochester last year. They kind of took a lead pretty early, and they held on to it. And the bye week is important too for the first two teams. So you always think about the standings, and we for sure want to keep distancing ourselves, like I said, and creating a gap that other teams won't even be able to touch us. So that's always the goal. But
we now hear from the Nordiques captain, Damon Myers, as he shares his expectations for this series.
Yeah, I think it will definitely be an exciting, fast-paced series. I think every time we play them, it's a hard-nosed game. We have a pretty good rivalry with them. Last year, my first year on the team, you could tell right away how much this winning the series means to both teams. So yeah, I think it'll be exciting. We're hoping to get a different result than we did last time, but it'll definitely be pretty fast-paced. We're both playing some good hockey right now, so.
And talking about the result from last time the Maryland Black Bears faced you all, they did sweep you. So how do you and also your teammates respond to that for this upcoming series?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that we were coming off a pretty tough loss in our last game in the showcase. I think that just kind of trickled into that weekend. But we've got some new players, some new additions that have made an immediate impact in our lineup. And then I really just think we're playing some of our best hockey right now. I think just sticking to what's made us successful the past few weeks and having that translate into this weekend. It'll be a pretty good test for us to see how well we stack up against these guys again. But I think definitely we've made some strides since the last time that we've played them. So we're all excited and we're expecting a much different result.
And like you said earlier, you're a second-year veteran and you were named the captain of the Nordiques. What does it mean to have a leadership role on the team?
Yeah, I mean, it means everything to me. I think, we've had some great leaders in the past and captains, especially last year. I was fortunate enough to be on the team with two great captains, and then we had two awesome assistant captains too. So I think that those guys just really, showed me the way and we're big influences on how I'm running the team this year. So I think that that being the captain, especially to such a good organization and an organization that I have so much pride to play for. So yeah, I was super honored and blessed to receive that, the C at the start of the year. And yeah, I'm hoping that, I can lead this team to, our goal of an East Division championship and then obviously an ultimate goal of the Robertson Cup. So
the East Division Semifinals rematch is not the only game on display today. Let's take a look around the league to see what's going on in the other divisions. The Battle of the Austin Hose West Texas Rivalry Series continues in Odessa as the Jackalopes host the Amarillo Wranglers for a 2-game set. Right now, Amarillo leads the rivalry series with 2 wins over Odessa. However, the Jackalopes hold a 3-point edge in the South Division standings over the Wranglers. As both teams look to secure critical standing points, this will be a series to watch. In the Central Division, the North Iowa Bulls are coming into this weekend with a big 5-4 overtime win against the Bismarck Bobcats. The last time the Bulls faced off with the Aberdeen Wings, North Iowa delivered the Wings' first regulation loss of the season amongst Central Division opponents. As the Bulls look to continue their momentum upwards in the division, Aberdeen is hungry to stay at the top of the Central Division standings. Out in the land of the Midnight Sun, Wisconsin experiences their first Alaska road trip of the season as they take on the Anchorage Wolverines for a 2-game set. The series is a Midwest Division Finals rematch from last season. Both teams are tight in the standings, with Wisconsin having a 3-point edge over Anchorage. Right now, the Wendigo have one of the best records in the Midwest with 7 wins over the last 10 games and are riding hot with securing a sweep over the Wilderness. As teams across the country continue to battle, you don't want to miss a second of the action. Make sure to watch all the games live or on demand on NATV. We'll see you next week.